this information session on the Baumhart Scholars MBA program, part of Quinlan's virtual open house week. So in just a second, I'm going to throw up some slides on the screen and we'll go through some information for you. I have two scholars with me here today to share their experiences. So excited to introduce you to them in just a moment, and I'll let you know who I am too in just a moment, but would really encourage everyone to start the conversation in the chat now. Feel free to introduce yourselves, share maybe where you're joining us from today, what you're interested in learning, and that goes to our scholars on the call today as well. So while we're sharing some introductions in the chat, for those who feel comfortable, I will start sharing my screen so I can jump into my introduction as well. And Eric, could you give me a thumbs up that you're seeing the slides? Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, well, let's jump right in. So welcome everyone. As I mentioned, this is an information session for the Baumhart Scholars MBA program. To introduce myself, my name is Madeline Stanton. I'm Senior Program Manager at the Baumhart Center, where I have the true pleasure of supporting this transformative MBA program. And I like to tell folks I get to work with inspiring leaders every day, having conversations with prospective students to share more information about the program, supporting our current students like Maria, who will introduce themselves shortly, and connecting and engaging with our alumni like Kirsten here as well. So that's a little bit about me. Would love to toss it over to our two scholars who I have with us to introduce yourselves. I've got a quick question for each of you as well after your introductions, and then we'll jump into some information about the program. So Medea, we'll start with you.
Great, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure meeting everyone. My name is Medea Fouché. As Madeline shared, I'm a current Baumhart Scholar, class of 2025. I have 13 years experience in the leadership positions. I'm a founder of a nonprofit organization that provides art programs to incarcerated women and children and youth experiencing homelessness. As of 2015, I'm a co-founder to a social enterprise that uses a business model of thrifting to help support our in-house program, which provides job training for individuals facing barriers to employment. I'm a mother. I have an 8-year-old, and I am just really passionate about the work that I do, and I have committed myself to being a Baumhart Scholar and to connecting and engaging and providing any resources and information that I have and I have access to those who are also as committed to providing a positive impact in this world. So I look forward to meeting each of you as the time goes on.
Awesome. Thank you. Kirsten, would love to turn it over to you for your introduction.
Thanks, Madeline. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. Really excited to talk about something near and dear to me, the Baumhart Scholars Program. I graduated in 2022. And my experience has been in social impact the past 10 years across nonprofit, government, and now ESG impact investing. I started off my career working for the Obama administration. I was a political appointee at the Small Business Administration, helping small business owners start and grow their businesses across the country. After the administration, I worked on the Hill, as well as for real estate investment trust and finance, and then moved here to Chicago, where I was the Deputy Chief of Staff of Finance and Public Engagement at the Obama Foundation, really marrying the two skills of, social impact, but also my interest in finance. And then during the program, I actually pivoted to the role I'm in now, which is Chief of Staff at the First Women's Bank, and we're focused on closing the gender lending gap. And yeah, I'm just excited to, talk and share more about my experience as a Baumhart Scholar. I think it's been very pivotal in my career. So thanks.
Yeah, well, thank you both so much for being here. I've got a few slides to walk through to share some more information about the program. And Medea and Kirsten, I'll be leaning to you to share your experiences throughout, so jump in. But to start, Medea, I'd love to hear from you. What inspired you to join the Baumhart Scholars Program?
Yeah, so as I've shared that I did start the program with some experience in leadership, nonprofit organizations, and business models. For me, I was really looking for a space that I can continue these conversations in depth. I recognize my weakness as a business leader and owner, which has to do a lot of with data analysis and strategy building. I always knew how to build and start, and I needed to learn how to expand in an effective manner. And that is the reason why I committed to Baumhart, because I've only been here for 3 terms and I have learned immensely strategies and impact and ways to grow and ways to be effective and ways to connect with individuals that really help the mission that I'm committed to. My experience so far has been amazing. The professors are wonderful. I genuinely love the way the cohort is built. It's 26 individuals that are coming together, and we're all working professionals, so we're all on the same boat. And sometimes the boat feels like it's going down and we're all working together to take the water out, but we're all pushing it forward together. And as someone who is so focused on community, it's the cohort community that really gets me motivated to go to class, to see things through, to make sure I fully understand what I'm learning. Like, my goal isn't just to get the degree. I need to understand and fully be able to get into the work that's being taught. And through this program, I feel like I'm actually really getting it. So yeah, I can't speak enough about it, but that's why I started the program, and that's why I continue to enjoy it so much.
That's awesome. And I love hearing about the cohort, and I'm excited to get into that a little bit more as we keep going. Kirsten, I'll toss it to you for a question for you. What's something that you were surprised that you walked away with after completing the program?
Yeah. I think people talk about going to MBA for the network, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna meet a lot of people, but I didn't realize like how close that we would be. I think the cohort model really, was the catalyst for that. And so like last night we had a birthday party for one of our cohort members, and like we graduated 2 years ago, right? So, and we're still just as close. We have like, our group me and our WhatsApp chats, and we still get together. Folks are having babies now, getting married, and like we're still really connected. And I think I also really appreciated that Baumhart has an advisory and leadership council, and so we really gained a lot of mentors and executives in this social impact space who could really kind of give us feedback, kind of guide us through our careers. One of the big parts of it is the mentorship as well. And so I didn't realize, like, yes, I knew I was going to meet people and that would be a great part of it, but I really didn't realize like how close knit we would be, and still to this day.
Yeah, that's great. Well, excited to talk more about the network and the mentorship as well, and the alumni committee, which we've had the opportunity to work on as well. And I think I heard the word baby in there. I am committed to starting a Baumhart Babies thing. We have a monthly alumni newsletter, and there's been a lot of Baumhart babies out there, so we got to make this a thing.
I love it. And they're all so cute. So yes,
Yeah.
please.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's dive in to share a little bit more about this incredible MBA program, 100% focused on social and environmental impact. And a big part of that is seen through the curriculum, right? So this is really a specialized MBA program, 100% focused on impact. You're going to come in and get this generalized MBA focused on management, but it's also going to be taught through this lens of impact. So you're getting your traditional business skills of accounting, finance, economics, but those classes are taught with an impact lens. So in accounting, you'll be discussing 10Ks, but also sustainability reporting, right? In finance, you'll be talking about time value of money and green bonds. And then we take it a step further with specialty classes just for the Baumhart Scholars, like ESG investing, impact investing, innovative CSR, taught by one of our wonderful faculty members featured here, Jennifer Griffin. And, you know, we're really intentional about the faculty that we bring into the program as well, right? It's a mix of tenured faculty here at Loyola that share that passion for profit and purpose, just like we do at Baumhart, as well as a number of working practitioners in the field working in the spaces that they're coming in and teaching. So Maria and Kirsten would love to hear any comments about the curriculum and the faculty. And just quickly, there is space for electives to explore your areas of passion further, but would toss it over to our scholars to share anything here.
Yeah, I can go first if. So what I really liked about this curriculum was just the fact that it's so married with the profit and purpose. And so every single course we took had some lens in social impact or like, you know, purpose, mission-driven work. And so I think when you're applying to other MBA programs, it's like an elective, it may be a track, but I really like that every single course, you know, had some lens on how can we make the world better? How can we be more sustainable? You know, being people-oriented as well. And so that was a big thing I took away from the curriculum. And then also there was a lot of reflection. And I think to be a good business leader, you need to be self-aware. And so I really enjoyed values-based leadership, strategy and leadership, influential leadership, and just like kind of really thinking about what type of manager I am, what type of leader I am, and how I can be transformational in an organization.
Yeah, I love that you pointed all of those out because we're in two different classes, and I can say that it's been consistent in my cohort as well. To add to that, I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about the curriculum so far is that we do speak about real-time incidents. So like when we're talking about accounting or financing, we are working about, like we're learning about numbers, but how do we relate these numbers to real time? What are the real impacts that are happening in our day-to-day? And how can we use the knowledge that we have to work with what's truly happening in real time? For me, that helps me process and it helps me convert knowledge into real-time day-to-day tasks. So that has been a great point for me because I maneuver through the world now through the lens of what I'm learning in class. I'm learning about numbers. I understand numbers now, but also how do numbers play into our day-to-day life? How does it impact the economy? How does it impact social issues and housing prices? Like it goes real deep. So it's not just the numbers that we're learning, but how the numbers relate to the purpose that we're all here for. So, I mean, Kirsten did a great job covering everything else. Touche to that, because I agree to that. Just a little bonus for me is how I can play what I'm learning into my day-to-day tasks.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for sharing your insights there. And you know, we've talked about what you're going to learn, but would love to talk about kind of how you're going to learn it or who you'll be learning it with. And really here, I, you know, would love to turn it over to the scholars to talk about the cohort. I think it's one of the best pieces of the program. It's extremely unique. And, you know, these are the people you're going through your classes with, the network that you're walking away with beyond the program. But, you know, I think it goes beyond the network. So I'll toss it over to our scholars to share your thoughts on what the cohort experience is like.
Yeah, I can touch a little bit more about it. One of the greatest things that I appreciated was the very first session we had. You don't really know what you're getting into. I walked into the first day and it was like a 6 to 8 hour session, but it didn't feel like a 6 to 8 hour session because it really provided a genuine opportunity for us to get to know each other. There were presenters that would ask questions that provided the space for us to reflect on ourselves, reflect, come together. It just really provided the foundation of knowing who we're working with because we're going to be working together for the next 2 years. And it was met with intention. So the way that that was laid out really helped solidify the foundation. And it's really, as like Kirsten mentioned, you gain these relationships that really go beyond the degree and beyond graduation. And as you navigate life, you recognize more and more that you can't do these things by yourself. So now you're building a community with individuals who share your name and your impact in different spaces. So yes, it increases your network, but it's very genuine. And I think that's truly what I love about it. That's been my experience at least.
Yeah, ditto. I think, it's definitely the network. But I think it was really a space for support and inspiration during the program, right? I think we're taking hard classes, right? And our professors were reasonable, but like you have your cohort to lean on, but then also we had like those healthy debates on like solving problems, like you're talking about, discussing things in real time. And so I think, and it created a safe space as well, I think, because you know each other so well and like you can talk to each other about things. And so yeah, I think you won't see anything like this at another program. And I think that's what's so special about Baumhart as well.
Yeah, I like to call it our community of change makers. And I think that's a really great way to describe it. And the 6 to 8 hour session that Medea was referring to is part of our orientation weekend, or at Baumhart, what we like to call our immersion weekend. And last year was the first one I had the opportunity to be a part of. And just through that weekend, it's just incredible to see the cohort is shaped in that one weekend. And I know it goes beyond that, but it's really wonderful to see those relationships and that community building from the very beginning. So to build on the network extends beyond the faculty and the cohort to mentors and career coaches. So I'm going to speak to these two pieces together, and then Maria and Kirsten, if you have anything to add after the next slide, you're welcome to jump in there. But as part of the program, every scholar is paired with a mentor through the duration of the 20 months of the program. And these are working practitioners, leaders in the field of social and environmental impact, who we pair with scholars based on your career goals and your career interests. And you get to meet throughout the program, and many of those relationships extend beyond the program. So we had an alumni panel just earlier this week with one of our alums from the very first cohort that graduated in 2021. And he said, I'm catching up with my mentor this week. So that was really awesome to hear that these relationships extend beyond the program. And I think it's a great aspect of support during the program as well. And in addition to the mentor, we also have career coaches as part of this program. So we work with career coaches who are particularly experienced with working with purpose-driven leaders. And again, we let you preference the career coach that you're interested in working with based on their coaching style. And you have access to those career coaches during the program for individualized coaching sessions, 4 of them through the duration of the program. So Kirsten and Medea, any thoughts on the kind of mentorship, coaching aspects of the program that you'd like to jump in with?
I can go first. Well, yeah, like I said, the mentorship was really great for me. It actually helped me get a new job through the program. Just talking through, what my interests were, and this mentor has a similar background as I do, as I have finance, but I was also trying to kind of just marry that more with social impact. And so, economic development. And so her background was in accounting, but now she's a CEO of a nonprofit. And so she was just kind of like guiding me through her process. And then she referred me for a role where she was on the board. And so, I think that mentorship is really helpful, not only to, help you land a new job, but kind of think through your career path. And then my career coach actually worked in banking. So that was really helpful through the program.
Yeah, I generally appreciate how Baumhart invests in the scholars. I did look into other MBA programs and I couldn't find what fit for me, because I believe in yes, reciprocity, but also like, are we attending the school and is the school also investing in the students? And I truly believe that this program does invest with the coaching, with the mentorship. They're very intentional with partnering you and pairing you with someone who can challenge your thought process, but can also meet you where you're at. So like the individuals that I've been partnered with, like they're in the realm of nonprofits and social enterprise and business owners, but they have so much experience that they ask me questions that I've never thought of. And that for me is important because I want you to challenge my thinking so that it can expand. That's how we grow. And the Baumhart program just does a really great job of being intentional in connecting us with coaching and mentorship. And they really do a good job with investing in their scholars.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experiences there. Would love to talk for a minute about the alumni experience. And Kirsten, I mentioned the alumni committee, so I've really enjoyed getting to know you better through that opportunity. It's a new group that we've started to really help shape and grow the alumni experience together, right, as a program with our alums. We also have a couple of other opportunities where we welcome our alumni to come back and engage with us, events through the year. One great one is our annual conference Leading for Good, which we love to see alums come back to that. We do have a LinkedIn group where we're sharing career resources, job opportunities, events with the alumni group there. And we do have an interview as part of the application process, and we invite our alumni to be a part of that. But Kirsten, is there anything you'd like to share about your experience on the alumni committee?
I think you touched on everything really. I appreciate, all the community engagement events that we do to keep us connected and to reconnect and to meet current scholars as well as the cohort before us. But on the alumni committee, we're really trying to keep everyone engaged, but then also, inspire new folks to join our community and thinking of ways that we can, bring people into the Baumhart community and, things like this are one of those avenues.
So great. Well, thank you for that. I've got a few more slides on the Baumhart Scholars MBA, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the ESG certificate here as well, and then time for Q&A. So here is a quick snapshot of our Baumhart Scholars alumni. Kirsten, you're somewhere on there, and we are a growing program, and our next class is just a few days away from graduation. So we'll see how long I can keep this slide up, but it is nice just to throw up a quick snapshot of who the Baumhart Scholars are. And of course, we've got to, represent our current scholars as well. So Medea, you're on here. And like I said, in just a few days, many of these folks will be jumping from one slide to the next. And also want to share a little bit more about the career experiences of our scholars as well. So this is a part-time program for working professionals, although I'm sure the scholars will say it feels like a full-time program, but many of the folks in our program are working professionals, and cohorts represent all sectors, for-profit, nonprofit, government, levels of working experience. So this is just a little example of some of the organizations and some of the career experiences that our scholars have. And speaking of careers, I love celebrating career transitions with our scholars, and I do my best to keep up. It's a lot. It's happening all the time. Kirsten, you mentioned, your pivots, right? Maria, we're excited to be highlighting your career experience soon as well, but I like to call this the journey to impact, and it is just so special to be a part of that with our students, to see them during and beyond the program, elevating their careers and their impact, whether that's going for a promotion internally or landing a new role externally, changing organizations, changing industries, changing sectors. And so it is just awesome to see that elevation and that journey to impact of our scholars. We do have a scholarship as part of this program. So every scholar in the Baumhart Scholars MBA program receives a $20,000 scholarship for their commitment to impact. And we do have 2 specialized scholarships that you're automatically considered for through the application process. So no separate application for those there. We have the Schreiber Scholarship for folks on the nonprofit side addressing urgent social needs. And we have the Edelman Scholarship that is awarded to folks on the for-profit side working in roles like corporate sustainability, corporate social responsibility, corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion. The application process. So our final deadline is coming up in a few weeks at the end of May. So we do accept applications 3 times in the year, at the end of January, at the end of March, and at the end of May, for programs that start in the fall. So this program is a 20-month program with cohorts starting every fall. So the folks starting in fall 2024 or our to-be class of 2026, our final application deadline, as I mentioned, is coming up May 31st. It's a free online application. I did mention we have an online interview that is a part of the application process as well. So after reviewing the online application, folks would learn whether or not they were invited to that interview process. And we've got a 2-part decision process as well. So we're looking for folks who are interested in getting an MBA, but also for that commitment to profit and purpose and social impact. So those complete my slides on the Baumhart Scholars MBA. And I've got a couple quick slides on the ESG certificate. And then Eric, I think we can go ahead, stop the presentation and the recording and jump into Q&A in just a couple minutes. So we were super excited to officially launch the new Baumhart certificate in environmental, social, and governance as of last year. So we had our first cohort come in last fall, and this is a really unique certificate offered across the university. So it is housed in the Quinlan School of Business, but it's a partnership across 3 schools at Loyola, the Quinlan School of Business, the School of Environmental Sustainability, and the Parkinson School of Health Sciences and Public Health. To share a little bit more about it, it can be completed in 12 months. So this is a graduate level certificate where you're coming in and taking 5 university level classes, 3 credit hours each. 2 of those classes are required classes in the Quinlan School of Business focused on ESG, an introduction class, and a capstone course. And then there are 3 electives. So through those electives, you have the opportunity to take your electives across those 3 schools. Students that are here at Loyola already pursuing other graduate level degrees can add on this certificate. Folks can also come in and just pursue the certificate as well. This is a snapshot of some of the electives that are available in the program. You can see there all 3 schools represented. And I will pause there. So I'll go ahead, stop sharing my screen. Eric, I think this would be a great place to pause the recording.